As a project management professional, I understand that every endeavor requires a solid foundation. In the context of international finance, that foundation is often a well-funded WISE account. For Nigerians looking to participate in the global economy, understanding how to fund a WISE account is a critical project milestone. Let's break down the process, examining the available options and potential challenges, much like we would with any complex project. Project initiation. Defining the scope and objectives. Our project objective is to clearly outline the methods by which a Nigerian resident can fund their WISE account. We'll aim to provide a practical guide, avoiding jargon and focusing on clarity, ensuring that even those new to international finance can easily grasp the concepts. Work breakdown structure, funding methods and their implementation. Like any project, funding a WISE account involves multiple work packages. Let's examine each method, detailing the steps and considerations. Debit card funding limited. Method: directly linking your Nigerian debit card, Visa, MasterCard, to your WISE account for funding. Implementation: within the WISE platform, you'll find an option to add a card. You'll input your card details, and WISE will initiate a small verification transaction. Challenges: Nigerian banks often place restrictions on international online transactions due to CBN policies. This can lead to frequent transaction failures. Transaction limits imposed by banks can severely restrict the amount you can fund. Exchange rate fluctuations are also a major concern. Banks will use their own rates, which are often far less favorable than the WISE mid-market rate. Project risk: high risk of transaction failure and unfavorable exchange rates. Mitigation: contacting your bank to understand their specific international transaction policies is crucial. Also, attempt small transactions first to gauge success. Bank transfer alternative with caveats. Method: sending a bank transfer from your Nigerian bank account to your WISE account. Implementation: WISE provides you with bank details, usually in another country, to which you send the transfer. You'll need to specify the purpose of the transfer and ensure the details are accurate. Challenges: this method often involves intermediary banks, leading to additional fees and delays. Nigerian banks' transfer fees for international transactions can be substantial. The process can be time-consuming, with transfers taking several business days. Project risk: moderate risk of unexpected fees and delays. Mitigation: research the specific fees charged by your bank for international transfers. Also, confirm the accurate intermediary bank details with both WISE and your bank. Using third-party exchange services, proceed with caution. Method: engaging with online exchange services that facilitate transfers between Nigerian naira and foreign currencies. Implementation: you send naira to the service's Nigerian account, and they, in turn, transfer the equivalent amount in your desired currency to your WISE account. Challenges: the reliability and legitimacy of these services can vary significantly. Fees can be opaque and potentially high. Regulatory oversight may be limited, posing a risk to your funds. Project risk: high risk of fraud and financial loss. Mitigation: conduct thorough research, read reviews, and verify the service's credentials before using it. Only use known and well-reviewed services. Leveraging peer-to-peer (P2P) platforms with due diligence. Method: utilizing online platforms that connect individuals looking to exchange currencies directly. Implementation: you find a seller offering the currency you need, agree on an exchange rate, and complete the transaction. Challenges: finding reliable sellers can be challenging. The risk of fraud exists as you're dealing with individuals. Exchange rates may not always be favorable. Project risk: moderate risk of fraud and unfavorable rates. Mitigation: use reputable P2P platforms with escrow services. Verify the seller's reputation and only proceed with transactions after thorough checks. Utilizing foreign remittance services for receiving funds. Method: using services that allow individuals abroad to send money directly to your WISE account. Implementation: provide the sender with your WISE account details, and they initiate the transfer through the remittance service. Challenges: You are dependent on the sender for the funding. The sender will incur fees from their side. Project risk. Low risk to the receiver, high risk to the sender in regards to fees. Mitigation. Clearly communicate to the sender to be aware of all fees on their end of the transaction. Risk management. Addressing potential roadblocks. As with any project, funding a WISE account from Nigeria comes with risks. Here's a breakdown of potential roadblocks and mitigation strategies. Regulatory changes. The Central Bank of Nigeria's policies on international transactions can change, impacting funding methods. Mitigation. Stay updated on CBN policies and adapt your funding strategy accordingly. Bank restrictions. Individual banks may impose their own restrictions on international transactions. Mitigation. Contact your bank directly to understand their specific policies. Fraud and scams. Online exchange services and P2P platforms can be targets for fraud. Mitigation. Conduct thorough research, verify credentials, and use secure platforms. Currency fluctuations. Exchange rates can fluctuate, impacting the final amount received. Mitigation. Monitor exchange rates and consider using WISE's rate lock feature, if available. Quality assurance. Ensuring smooth project execution. To ensure a smooth funding process, consider these quality assurance measures. Double-check details. Verify all account details, transfer amounts, and currency conversions before initiating a transaction. Keep records. Maintain records of all transactions, including transfer receipts and exchange rate confirmations. Contact support. If you encounter any issues, contact WISE support or your bank's customer service for assistance. Small test transactions. Begin with small test transactions to verify the process before transferring larger amounts. Project closure. Key takeaways and best practices. Funding a WISE account from Nigeria requires careful planning and execution. While challenges exist, they can be mitigated with thorough research and due diligence. Key takeaways. Debit card funding can be unreliable due to bank restrictions. Bank transfers are a viable option but can be costly and time-consuming. Third-party exchange services and P2P platforms require careful vetting. Receiving funds from abroad is a viable option. Stay informed about CBN policies and bank regulations. Best practices. Prioritize transparency and security when choosing funding methods. Compare exchange rates and fees from multiple sources. Start with small test transactions. Maintain accurate records of all transactions. Seek guidance from financial experts if needed. By approaching the process like a project with careful planning, risk management, and quality assurance, you can successfully fund your WISE account and unlock the opportunities of the global economy.